We have completed yet another day of the Global Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Summit. And to conclude today's session, I would like to invite Ms. Annie Thomas, the Director of Operations at Glorod Avionics Private Limited, and she's also the Director General for CIMSME Kerala, and Ms. Priya Menon, who's the CEO of and founder of Sunkalp Creative Ventures and chairperson for the WE vertical of CIMSME Kerala, to sum up today's event so that the audience will have a take-home message. So over to you, Ms. Annie.
Thank you, Mishma. The second day of the summit also started with the opening remarks of Ms. Aparna G. Kumar, Global Chairperson WEE, where she reiterated on the principles and vision and mission of GCPIT, which is to implement relevant major national development strategies and promote foreign trade, bilateral investment, and economic and technological cooperation, carry forward cooperation with overseas trade promotion counterparts, receive overseas high-end trade and economic delegations. Ms. Anju Bajaj, the National Chairperson for the MSME vertical of CIMSME, gave her valuable inputs in building businesses and to be part of the global journey. She said, innovation must have a purpose. A team cannot be innovative if they do not have the directive. It is upon the leaders to provide the right direction. Pandemic has affected not only the economy, but also in the way companies work around them. An innovative idea is what can separate us from the rest. Product process and business model will play a vital role. Our first chief guest of the day was Mr. Harshan Vivi, the Assistant Vice President at Invest India, India's national investment promotion agency, where he leads several initiatives for the Agni technology commercialization program. He spoke in depth about Invest India, the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency of India, and act as the first point of reference for investors in India. As the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, Invest India focuses on sector-specific investor targeting and development of new partnerships to enable sustainable investments in India. He further spoke about Agni, expanded as Accelerating Growth of New India's Innovations, is a program of the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India and a mission under the Prime Minister's Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council. Agni helps commercialize Indian technological innovation and convene India's finest technologies and their deployment-ready technologies from startups and laboratories with top technology users from India and global enterprise, government and non-profit sector. Definitely a session where our startups can benefit from. Moving on to our international chief guest, Mr. Mohammed Ba. He leads the innovation program for the development sector at the International Telecommunication Union, the Union Specialized Agency for ICT. Mr. Ba spoke about SDGs as the guiding goals for development, failure of the innovative ecosystem to create jobs, and there is risk of being left behind. There is a growing digital innovative divide. The key challenge is the inability of countries and their ecosystem to absorb technology. He spoke about preparation at ground level for the next unicorn company in your community. He said, think digital, think holistic. Think ecosystem, think good practices. Moving on to our first panel for the day was on visions, missions, and sustainable business models. Insights from top performing business incubators, accelerators, and competitions. The panel was moderated beautifully by Mr. Biju Balagopal. The key takeaways. Startups have to focus not only from the financial point, but also from the sustainability point to meet global challenges. If they want to be part of the bigger system, we must try to help them focus on the sustainability component in the business model. When it comes to the startup scenario in Africa, the youthful population in Africa do not have employment, but they have a spirit of creativity and innovation. They need a mechanism or platform that will give them the opportunity to explore their abilities. Government should make conscious choice to introduce innovation as part of the curriculum. Role of the private sector is key in this regard. Africa saw a huge growth in the issue of mobile money. COVID has helped in mobile money transfer, which in turn helped small businesses. Banks were asked to waive off taxes, which led to a rise in bank transactions in a continent like Africa, where banks and bank accounts are sparse. Coming to startup failures, the three main aspects of a business are whether it is feasible, whether it is desirable, and whether it is viable. Unfortunately, startups concentrate only on the feasibility factor. They do not understand what they need to do to succeed, knowing the right thing and doing the right thing at the right time. Most startups do not have any idea about how we are going to change somebody's life. As to how to build an innovative ecosystem in the country, it is important to develop partnerships among government and private sector. Startups who do not have domain knowledge will struggle. You need to have the right people, the right mindset to sustain for the next 20 to 30 years. What challenge or issue are you trying to solve? Is the ecosystem designed for that? If not, then re engineer that system. It is important to have people who have experienced the problem and have solution for it. In our second panel, how to create value for innovation ecosystem was moderated beautifully by Mr. Abhinav. Unfortunately, two of the other panelists couldn't join due to connectivity issues, but it still was a very productive session with Mr. Taylor Ryan, who joined in from Denmark. Key takeaways once again. Startups need to have a goal as where we need to reach in 15 to 20 years. People are stuck in fear about taking decisions. You need to have the right people and the right goal set. As to how do we measure startups, Mr. Taylor was of the opinion that it is rare for startups to hit the market and have a market share in 6 months. Data needs to be used, scale in the HR section. We need to combine all these departments. It is required to build a knowledge base or system that flows cross department. Simplistic automation and tools will help reduce workload. There is a requirement of path-breaking innovations that were strong enough to rattle the top. Leadership and motivation are key. If you are not making magic in your company, then you are probably not doing the right thing. As I conclude the day, or the first half of the day, let me give you a very brief insight into what we do. For me, technology was just a term, probably a spelling I had to learn because I'm a postgraduate in English literature. It would be shameful if I didn't know spelling of technology. But I married a guy who thought technology and probably you can say ate technology. And with that person, we started a company that is into development of drones. Again, only my love for aircrafts is what helped me take up this role. But he dragged me into all discussions, whether it was technological or anything regarding to that. And he spoke about cryogenic engines to me as if I was a pro in that. But I made it a point to understand what technology is or what he is trying to speak. So we went to almost all trade fairs in the country. I saw a lot of machines in the past 10 years just to understand why he is asking for a machine and what is the need for a machine, or rather what is the need for an automation system in our factory. I have to say it is easy when you have the right machine to produce in a mass scale. So my key takeaway, embrace technology because it is easy to scale up. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Annie, and over to you, Ms. Priya.
Thank you, Mishma. Good evening to you all. Today, I have been allotted the responsibility of presenting the concluding remarks on the last two panel discussions on the topic of creating value for innovation ecosystem. But before I set on to the task, let me stress on the fact that the various discussions that happened here today are indeed worthy of a thunderous applause. Innovation ecosystems, without doubt, are an intricate process that includes idea generation, product creation, and of course, scalability of the created products. Currently, there is a digital innovation gap that thwarts the progress of innovation ecosystem, a fact that was rightly observed by Mr. Bao in his address. To get beyond these hurdles, it requires a prominent business culture that not just rewards entrepreneurship, but also encourages a mindset to embrace change. Such a system needs to have a strong knowledge generation sector and also a holistic means of collaboration for success, which can lead to the generation of more highly skilled jobs ultimately. Today's discussions have stressed on the fact that transformational policies reforms traditional businesses to generate innovative organizational environments, thereby inspiring the workforce. Many of our businesses have embraced digital transformation and collaboration in a huge way. As our chief guest said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and that is something which would enable us to have a solid start. India is undoubtedly growing in this regard, gradually forming its own ecosystem, if we have to believe the words of Mr. Harshan. Our first esteemed panel has actively given their inputs on creating a fundamental value for innovation ecosystem through economy enhancement. A lot of our questions related to innovation ecosystem and its related priorities, especially for the revival of global economies, have been touched upon today. It was certainly insightful to hear about creating value for innovative ecosystem from our esteemed panel. As Mr. Ashish Khare opined, there is a shift of priority from entrepreneurs to business, something which is mandatory for progressive change. The government, academia, etc. are all taking a healthy initiative that is leading to a lot of reforms within the industry, which will narrow down the gap. There is a need for more seed investors and investments for startups to thrive, said Mr. Khare. Moreover, innovations should also go into the grassroots level so that alternate income sources could be explored. The young job seekers are successfully thriving by making use of the innovative ecosystem these days, thanks to rising opportunities. Another panelist, Ms. Claudia, pointed out to the fact that rural connectivity is a definite challenge and innovations need to be addressed in this regard. People should have similar opportunities, which they currently do not. She also stressed upon providing basic requirements for people so that they could focus on other things without any strain. As far as the social impact of innovation ecosystems are concerned, she felt that it would be a great way for knowledge empowerment and giving back to society. Rima Sani was one of the opinion that investment in the right type of products and technologies would enable our society to move ahead in a progressive manner. The potential of markets of tomorrow remains unexplored. That would be possible only if the field of research is strengthened and made inclusive. The session ended with all the panelists detailing about how they were personally supporting innovation ecosystem through their work. The second panel discussion, moderated by Lavina, focused on creating value for innovators and startups through competence development. Entrepreneurship to succeed needs to be combined with creativity, taking initiatives, problem-solving capabilities, and the ability to arrange resources as well as financial and technological knowledge. Related institutions are increasingly developing these competence in students through various entrepreneurship education courses that includes problem-based tutoring and assessment methods. Adequate specialized support also needs to be provided to educators in order to show favorable results. The esteemed panelist discussing the above-mentioned topic has definitely contributed a significant share in throwing light upon this subject. It was interesting to learn about the keywords of our panelists came out when asked about competence development that startups required. Focus, integrity, sustainability, collaboration, innovation, reskilling, etc. were thought important. Dr. Ingrid felt that promoting public-private partnerships would be the best sustainable model for a competent ecosystem. She also felt that digital transformation is the key, and we need to infuse modern skills into our educational systems for a productive workforce. Ms. Lisa felt the need to collaborate across with a lot of partners ranging from government institutions to corporates and educational institutions for getting maximum competence levels in the industry. Students are often frustrated due to outdated content that they are being taught in institutions. This needs to be looked into. Collaboration, perseverance, and to think global was her advice for competence. Mr. Prasanna spoke about the revolution in banking that started in India with the opening up of the internet in 1995. Digital revolution has made the customers more agile and flexible, and more opportunities have opened up for them. Mobile phones have enabled a high level of technological revolution that has made life easier for people. He foresees a lot more of such digital innovations in the near future. Failing fast and building sustainable innovation is something Mr. Prasanna feels is an important factor to succeed. Special address by Fang Hong Lam, which concluded today's event, threw light upon the new development trends and also informed the audience about the various projects undertaken by the United Nations Development Programme. We certainly have a long way to go. The world is moving forward to embrace a progressive approach to innovation, but we need to create a conducive environment so as to effectively use technology that would harness the collective potential of a technology-adept world and its population. Thank you once again for your participation.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priya and Ms. Annie, for the great summing up today. And I'm sure with that, our audience have a definite takeaway message. And also thank you for all the coordination behind the scenes. And with that, we conclude the day 3 of the Global Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Summit. And at this point, I would also take the opportunity to thank our partners, which our knowledge partner, Atal Incubation Center, our academic partner, Swarnam University, our knowledge partner, FITT, and our event partner, Startup Uttarakhand. So with that, audience, we come to the end of day 3. But again, it's not over. And as everyone knows, the last day is always enriching with key takeaways. So please join us again tomorrow. And we have a great lineup of speakers scheduled for tomorrow as well. And meanwhile, also do check out the booth area, which you can find on the platform. So in the booth area, we have exhibits for startups and innovative products from across India. And you can have a one-to-one interactions with these exhibitors. So please do visit the booth and encourage them. So thank you so much and see you tomorrow. So good night and stay safe till then.